and Instagram live. So let us start immediately before there's any delay. If we have some pending questions, I'll do that first. Otherwise, I'll start with my whatever cases I want to share with you. Now, whenever a person comes to us, welcome Dr. Razik, Dr. Milind. Now, before going that, I'll just share one of the case. If you don't have any questions, I'll go to do that first. Now, there are a lot of cases where the patient comes to us and we try to interpret that as sentimental type of personalities. Sentimental type मतलब बहुत जल्दी किसी के लिए फील होता है, अच्छा नहीं लगता, बुरा लगता है, and there are a lot of other things for the rubric sentimental to see. Whenever you are taking a rubric sentimental, most of us basically, or it is given in the matter medica also, we think about antim crude. Of course, antim crude is definitely there, but you lately I had a very interesting case, where the person had that sentimental mood types, and it worked very well. The remedy was Iberis. Normally, Iberis we think about for only heart complaints and XYZ. But that patient came out beautifully with Iberis. The main thing is, when you basically try to be prejudiced, as you must have heard in my last lecture on Zoom, which I am taking, whenever we are prejudiced of something, then we are prejudiced of case taking or prejudiced about the remedy. We only think about that remedy in that context. We don't think the remedy as a whole. For example, if you are treating a case and the patient has a lot of fear, we think about aconite or belladonna, or there's fever, so we think about that remedy. But Iberis we never think about, And this patient, had a very, very interesting symptom with that sentimental mood. The patient said that I have a lot of fear. I don't want to take a lot of medicine. So whenever there is fear of taking lot of medicine, two remedies are very, very important. First is Iberis and second is allium sativa. Bowel nosodes, Dr. Vishaka, bowel nosodes I have used maybe sporadically. Proteus bacillus I use, bacillus compound I use, and it works very well. In some cases I have used it, but I am not totally using that in my day-to-day practice very frequently. Sporadic cases I do use that. Next is homeopathy protocol for obsessive compulsive disorder. Yes, obsessive compulsive disorder. So first of all, it is very important to understand what is mental disease, as what Hahnemann has told about mental disease. So you have to go to the aphorism and first understand why did the mental disease occur. And if you have read the aphorisms of mental disease, I would suggest go again and read that, and you will get a lot of ideas, about how to go about with mental disease and all. For example, you must go to the remedy aphorisms. If I'm not wrong, it is between 210 to 230 mental disease, their classification. For example, mental disease first type after disappearance of physical symptom, the lucid period, and the treatment of mental disease, antipsychotic remedies and all. But if you ask me, whatever mental diseases I have cured, like schizophrenia, bipolar, depression, anything, there is always a triggering point. There is a point where the mind cannot take enough, and the mind says that I have had enough now. Then it goes in the reverse phase. The patient absolutely becomes out of control. He starts behaving in an absurd manner because he cannot take the pressure too much. That is, you have to understand how did it start, when did it start, and the situation which led to the mental disease. That is the entry point I always think. Because as Hahnemann says in case taking, in the aphorism number 6, deviation from the normal state of health. What was the patient in SORA and what is the deviation state of health? That is very important. Felt by the patient, felt by the associates, and observed by the physician. Aphorism number 6. And then you repertorize that case and get to the remedy, and then with the help of mater medica try to differentiate those cases, those remedies, and get to the remedy. And let me tell you, we have wonderful results in mental disease, whether it is schizophrenia, bipolar, depression, anything. It really works very well. The entry point is when did it trigger start, or in most of some cases you will find there's a lot of dominance, there's a lot of sadness, there's a lot of grief, to a point where the body cannot take it and the mind goes out of control. Syphilitic part. That's how I basically enter a case of mental disease. Yeah, good afternoon, Dr. Paul. रिंगवर्म फॉर ग्राम पानी और धूप में बैठा है. No, I did not get the question, Dr. Lalit. रिंगवर्म फ्रॉम गर्म पानी से रिंगवर्म, आई डोंट नो. गर्म पानी से होने के चांसेस काफ़ी कम. यू कैन हैव अ स्मॉल टाइप ऑफ बर्न विथ हॉट वाटर. धूप में बैठने से आई हैव नॉट सीन. So in basically whatever fungal disease, ringworm or fungus, whatever you have, it is basically depends upon the constitution which has got low immunity. And then ringworm, if I have not wrong, like we have discussed some of the remedies which are useful and given in mater medica, like natramur, like sepia, like tellurium, like basilinum, like azadirachta indica. I'll just discuss one case. There was a case of fungus infection in the whole body. The patient was from MP, and he just telephoned me and he just wanted one remedy, for ringworm itching and all. And I prescribed azadirachta in LM potency, and the patient reacted very well to the remedy. The patient came in last week and he is much better with azadirachta. The patient told that he is much better, itching is much better, the ring formation is much better, the skin has become smooth, that redness is much better, everything is much better with azadirachta indica LM potency in repetition. Okay, that's what I can tell you. I hope you understood, Dr. Lalit and Dr. Azim Khan, Dr. Vishaka. Yeah. Dr. Ruhi, welcome. Bhumika, welcome. Fatima Shireen, welcome. LM1. No, she they did not have LM1, so we started with LM3. And within about 4 to 5 days, the patient was much better. Much better. Azadirachta indica, AZA, that was the remedy. So that's why if you ask me in what do we call, in ringworm problem and all, make sure that why the immunity went down, and then you can take the case. But in this case, as I always say, I have told him that before YouTube and Insta Live also, azadirachta indica works very well. Okay. I hope you enjoyed the case of infertility which we did on Thursday on my Zoom meeting. It was an interesting case, and I hope you understand the cause of infertility and how did we progress at that case. Okay, so I was just telling you something about that. Iberis, dispense LM potency. The 2 poppy pills, 100 ml water, distilled water, 10 strokes, then 1 dose. It's like that. So Iberis, I was just telling you something about Iberis. So Iberis, remember one thing, the patient has a lot of fear of taking too much medicine. The first thing, one thing very important of Iberis, that the patient has cold perspiration on the face when he becomes excited. The patient has cold perspiration on excitement. Excitement means what? Somebody is coming for dinner, the patient is excited. She has to go for a dinner, he's excited. She has to go for a party, some good news is going to come, or the child has done very well in the exam, or the patient becomes excitable very easily. The first symptom, cold perspiration on the face. Do think about Iberis. Very, very interesting and very, very important remedy. Before I forget Iberis, I'll just tell you one thing. An Iberis patient, if you ask that patient, भाई आपको क्या चीज़ का तनाव है, क्या चीज़ का टेंशन है, the patient of Iberis will tell you everything. I have a tension, I'm anxious, will I wake up in the morning, how will I cook my breakfast, will I be able to dress up the children, how will the children perform in exams, will my husband have a good pay package, what my husband is doing, is he eating his food properly, is he healthy. This Iberis patient is always anxious. It is written in the mater medica, anxiety indefinable. Anxiety indefinable. Think of Iberis and think of one more rare remedy, it is allium cepa. That is the beauty and that is the joy of reading mater medica. You get so many symptoms which are so many common, we have heard so many times in our practice, but because we are lacking in knowledge, we basically don't understand the meaning of that. So just 3-4 symptoms of Iberis. Remember that: sentimental mood, cold perspiration on the face on excitement, fear of taking lot amount of medicine, and anxiety indefinable. These were the symptoms, and I prescribed Iberis. It worked wonderfully. Just to tell you that sometimes routine prescription, sometimes a prejudiced mind, just makes us to prescribe only those remedies which we are very pally with or which we have read. But these are the remedies which are very, very important to understand. In the same webinar which I took on Thursday, Zoom meeting, I prescribed that patient carbon sulf, and how did we go to carbon sulf and what are the symptoms of carbon sulf? Very, very important, so that you can start using these type of remedies also in your practice. Apart from, of course, the polycrest remedy which everybody uses. Yeah, welcome, Gaurav, Dr. Preeti, Dazzling Medico SM4. Okay, so I hope you understood. I hope there are few questions still remaining, but I hope you understand Iberis and do use in your practice. If you understand, just give me some thumbs up or something so that I can know that you are understanding. Iberis and some mathematics which basically I want to share with you. Dr. Wasim Bari, Walim Salam. So as you go further, and any other questions or should I start? Yeah. So I was just telling something about sentimental mood which I prescribed Iberis. One more remedy, sometimes it is very, very important to understand. Yes. So thank you for your hearts and 100% so that I know that we are on right track. Next, I think on YouTube also slight thumbs up so that I can know something, Mr. Getting. Yeah, welcome. Sentimental mood. Again, there was one case which I classically remember, sentimental mood. I'm just taking these type of, rubrics and remedies which I have got results with. So, there was a very interesting case, and again, I had used a remedy. It is not that you have not read the remedy, but it is infrequently used in case of sentimental mood. Now, okay, I'll just take a question first. Recurrent throat infection, every change of weather aggravation, throat problem, fear of cancer, hyperacidity, anxiety about health and about money matters, fear of poverty, fear is prominent, use Nux vomica. Staphylococcus aureus, sternum metallicum, improve but relapse again. What next, sir? Yeah, so very good, a very common question, recurrent cough and cold. But in your question only, you have answered so many things. In this space, in this case, there is a lot of problem of fear, especially fear, anxiety. Because of that, lot of hyperacidity, and because of that, there's fear of poverty also. So see, whenever there is fear of poverty, don't always think about Nux vomica. Whenever the word fear comes, or whenever you have fear of disease, fear of XYZ, fear, there are 3-4 remedies that should come to your mind, and especially with recurrent cough and cold. Think about Calcarea carp, think about Kali ars, think about phosphorus, think about natrum carp, and think about argentum nitricum. These are the remedies which I have used very, very frequently in my practice with the same symptoms, and that have not disappointed me. These are the remedies you should think about in your case also. And then, of course, try to differentiate when is the fear, morning, evening, night. Why is the fear? Is there any incidents in life because of which the patient has become fearful? Why is the patient timid? Try to define those fear, and because of the fear, the immunity goes down, and the first system to be affected is throat, because we are inhaling a lot of dust, lot of pollutants, lot of pollens, lot of dust mites, and it causes recurrent cough and cold. So when the immunity goes down, automatically the disease starts. So try to understand why did the immunity goes down, why is the fear, and try to define the fear. And these are the important remedies that you should think about. Dr. Sai Rekha, good afternoon. Okay, so this I hope you got it. Dr. Misha Kundwani, yeah, welcome. Sir, if patient asking about treatment, about quitting smoking, what's that strategy and medicine? Okay. See, if the patient wants to quit medicine, nicotine, first of all, he himself is ready. He himself has made up his mind. So he himself wants to leave it, Just make sure that whatever symptoms he gets for not taking nicotine, when you are taking nicotine and you're smoking, you have to quit smoking, so you get symptoms because of quitting smoking. So symptomatically, if you feel that because of quitting smoking the patient develops a lot of constipation, give that remedy. The patient develops a lot of gas in the abdomen, give that remedy. Lot of distension, see some remedies. Lot of pain in the muscles, sleeplessness, anxiety, irritability, anger issues. So that depends upon what the body is trying to throw the symptoms. Treat that first, and that settle down. Take the whole case, give the remedy, and you are through with your case. Okay. Complaints of abdominal flatulence, mild relief from eructations, potato aggravates, feels as if digestion has slowed down, emulated eating after some time. Okay. See, whenever you have a case where the patient suffers from flatulence, and that means there is distension of abdomen. So this type of symptom, that eructations emulates. There are a lot of remedies. If you can tell me something more, so I'll be able to, I'll be a bit specific in answering. But still, if you want that the patient is slightly better by eructations, now you see most of the remedies, if you see, are normally better by eructations. Now, first of all, distension of abdomen, eructation emulates. The first remedy you must think about is carboveg. Second remedy think about is calcarea floor. Third remedy think about sepia. Fourth remedy think about thuja, eructations. Some patient comes and tells you flatulence emulates, better by passing gas. Then think about lycopodium, think about phosphoric acid, think about sulfur, and think about magnesium carb. Of course, carboveg is also there. Okay, so these are the remedies you should think about. One thing you add, how is the thirst, how is the thermals, and automatically you will start getting the remedies. Because see, in our Mater Medica, there are so many remedies for gases problem, and if you open the repertoire and you put distension, you can give hundreds of remedy. Then it gets very difficult for us to understand what to give. So try to define it. Better by eructations, better by flatulence, or more in the morning, more in the evening, better by waking, better by drinking water. Whatever it is, you just see the modality, and automatically you will get the result. Okay. So Dr. Tanisha, welcome. Dr. Paul, thank you so much. Whenever you feel that the question is answered, just give me a thumbs up so that I can know that you have understood, or I can always give better some more answers, some more remedies, and some more modalities. Okay. Try to get the questions only on don't get them in WhatsApp because it becomes very distracting. Child has pain in whole abdomen, pressure aggravates, stools and gas emulates. Okay, so whenever potato, no, whatever Dr. Paul, I'll just complete my answer. If you get patients telling you that potato emulates, and if you give the remedy, so what happens in this case? If you give the remedy, like for instance for particular thing, it would only cure that part. That when the patient takes potato, then he does not get aggravation. The rest will be same. So whenever you are treating for a single symptom or a single item of food, it will basically only treat that part. So it is very important to understand that just take the whole case or go with the whole rather than prescribing on parts. So that is what I do in my practice. But if you give a potato, the patient definitely can become better with that. A child has pain in the abdomen, pressure aggravates to them. Okay. So whenever you get now again, I would like to, I'll just add one symptom and then give you answer. Now, if the person is telling you pressure aggravates, then just ask the patient how much pressure, slight pressure, heart pressure, clothing pressure. So we have different remedies for that. So if you say pressure aggravates, now there are 3-4 remedies which are very important when the pressure aggravates. First, think about lachesis. Second, think about iodine. Third, think about cilicia. And fourth, think about nux vomica. These are of course there are a lot of remedies, but these are the 4-5 remedies very important when pressure aggravates. Second, you must know the opposite also. Pressure ameliorates. Because there was a very interesting case, in my practice, where the patient says applying pressure ameliorates the complaints. Then you must think about colocin, you must think about China, bryonia, pulsatilla, and rustox. In both the cases, also stools and gas ameliorate. So these are 4 remedies for pressure aggravation and pressure amelioration. Sometimes what happens, the patient says, when I keep my clothes very tight, I do not like, I have to loosen the clothes. So do ask that modality also. आप वो भी पूछ के देखिए और ऑटोमेटिकली आपको उसके अंदर भी कुछ रिजल्ट्स मिलेंगे, बिकॉज हमने हमेशा बोला है कि सिम्टम्स को डिफाइन करना बहुत ज़रूरी है, और आगे जाके अगर पूरा केस मिलता है तो आपने अगर पूरा समरी बना लिया है ना, अगर समरी बना लिया तो एक दो रूब्रिक से भी आपका काम हो जाना चाहिए. Remedies to gain weight when there is no underlying pathology. See, normally I have not come across case where the patient only comes to gain weight, but you can give few remedies, like we have remedies like Evanesceteva, alpha alpha, and lecithin. These are the remedies which would suffice for your query, that weight gain without any perceptible cause. You can think about these remedies: Evanesceteva, alpha alpha, lecithin, and you can also think about, there's a biochemic combination, biochemic number 28. That also will give you good results. Okay, Dr. Abdequaem. So I think few questions have scrolled up. If you can write the question again, I will be happy to answer. Dr. Paul, you get the answer. Okay. So that's why I did not give potatoes, but because there are conditions, where you can always think about few, that salads aggravate, cold drinks aggravate, potatoes aggravate. So there are a lot of, in homeopathy, there's a lot of things, for example, if you say disorders by potato alumina is of course definitely a remedy. Now, if you say, heaviness in the abdomen, nausea because of potato, nausea because, in everything there is remedy alumina. So, but in my practice, I have seen sometimes it works, sometimes it does not work also. But I would just add one thing: if there is pain in the abdomen after eating potatoes, one remedy apart from alumina which I have found very very useful, Dr. Paul, just write down the name of it. That is Max Sulf. Of course, generalized you can use colloidal, but Max Sulf is a very very good remedy which I have found, that pain in the abdomen after potato. Patient बोलता है, I remember that, because when the patient comes and tells you that डॉक्टर साहब मैंने कल बाहर स्ट्रीट फूड खाया और वो उसमें उन्होंने जो पानी पूरी बनाई थी उसमें मैंने बहुत ज़्यादा उसको बोला कि आलू डालने के लिए, बस वो आलू खाया और मेरे को तकलीफ हुई. Then I found very important remedy, Magno. I gave colocin, the alumina, but did not work. And then in that case, magnesium sulf works very wonderfully. So Max Sulf also, remember that pain in the abdomen after potato. Okay, Dr. Paul, just I got one case, so I just wanted to share that with you. In this type of life where there is no stress of presenting a case, automatically Mater Medica comes to my mind, and then I can. But whenever there is a paid webinar or a paid Zoom meeting, I have to be strict. I have to be strict on the case, and so I don't go wayward from my topic. So sometimes people tell me that whenever you are speaking at random, on the Insta or YouTube, it is much better than presenting a case on a Zoom and paid webinar. So there is a lot of different approaches and expectations. But it is very important to understand that whenever you are discussing a case, you must have everything of the case. Why did the disease happen? How is the case? What did the patient tell? What was the life space? And then repetize and then get the remedy right. Okay. So because there were few who told me that also. Welcome, Dr. Adliji. I think you have joined after a long time. I hope you are understanding my way of teaching and all. Sometimes it might happen that you don't understand, or you are not getting results in what I am teaching, because a lot of people tell me, sir, your approach in homeopathy and your case analysis and your case summary is so easy. We never thought homeopathy is so easy, because there are different concepts also in homeopathy. Sometimes so it is, I make it very simple. The remedy is also very simple. So whoever assistants are working with me, my colleagues are working with me, they find it is very simple. But that's how I've been practicing for 25 years, and I'm getting a fair amount of good results. So sometimes it also happens that it becomes very simple. Yes, please do ask some questions fast. Forget the potatoes. We are done with potatoes and sentimental mood. because those are the very interesting remedies where you have seen in your practice. Sometimes when we were very early in our practice. Yeah, Dr. Please, Dr. Honam, welcome. So early in our practice, and we were taught, sentimental mood in moonlight, sentimental mood in moonlight, and we used to jump to the remedy that is antim crude, or in twilight, and then we used to understand what is twilight and what is moonlight, and you're very emotional and very sensitive. You have lust, you have a disappointment in love, and you're sitting in that twilight, just remembering, and you become very sentimental. So give antim crude. But in practice, as you go further and mature in your practice, you understand there are other remedies also where you can use that rubric sentimental and get good results. That's why it just crossed my mind. Is single dose enough? Sorry, and do we need to give it in succession? सो डॉक्टर असलम, बहुत अच्छा सवाल है आपका. कभी कभी क्या होता है, जैसे मैं एक एग्जांपल दूंगा आपको अभी. जैसे एक केस था मेरे पास माइग्रेन का केस था, जिसको माइग्रेन पिछले 25 साल से थी, और ये पेशेंट के वर्डिंग्स थे कि मैंने डॉक्टर साहब कम से कम 1 लाख सेरेडोन खा लिया है, फिर भी मेरे को माइग्रेन होता है. इतना ज़्यादा बढ़ गया था कि उसको इंजेक्शन लगाना पड़ता था. I don't know the remedy which I gave, but I gave that patient 1 dose of the remedy and she was much better. बट फिर से उसको 1-1.5 महीने बाद फिर से उसको सेम अटैक आना शुरू हुआ, तो मैंने रिपीट किया पेशेंट को. दूसरी बात, वो माइग्रेन का एग्जांपल देता हूँ. फिर वही पेशेंट जाती है, जैसे ये हो गया उसका कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रिस्क्रिप्शन. द सेम पेशेंट गोज and says that yesterday, doctor sahab, I went to a wedding party and I had to work day and night and I could not sleep properly. So again get the migraine. So in that case, the acute remedy is very important. And acute remedy, normally I repeat 1 potency once, twice, thrice, 1 hourly also, depending on the intensity. And if the pain goes down, then I taper off the dose. So acute remedy also is very important, because every time you prescribe a constitutional remedy in any situation, it will not work. That is my experience. I'm telling you a case of migraine because I have cured lots and thousands of cases of migraine. Single dose works, but in acute complaints, if the patient is exposed to too much sun, the patient has not had good sleep, the patient has not had dinner, or has done a lot of fasting, and that's why the migraine attack comes. So acute remedy is very important. In that case, I repeat. So in constitutional cases, I don't repeat so much, but acute, definitely I repeat. And of late, I'm using LM potency. So in LM potency, you can repeat, and the chances of homeopathy aggravation are less, and the chances of cure are very high. So in that, you can repeat the dose. Dr. Aslam, I hope कि आपको ये आंसर ठीक लगा हो. Tinnitus with vertigo, Chinim Salve did not work. So tell me some symptoms, doctor. In vertigo, why did you give Chinim Salve, and what are the other symptoms of vertigo? I think vertigo, if you ask me also, tinnitus, if you ask me also, मुझे लगता है कि बहुत difficult है, because के there is no cause only. We ask the patient says लेटने के टाइम पे तकलीफ होती है. Sometimes I am going out in the market and I have turned, suddenly I get vertigo. So there are different causes. So if you give me basically classical symptoms, of something more, I can definitely answer it better. I would just say it again, define that symptom. Vertigo maybe because of anger. Think about Calcarea ka chamo mila. Vertigo because of bad news. Think about Calcarea ka. Vertigo when it starts from the nape of the neck. Think about Gelsemium and Cilicia. Chinim Salve, I don't think I have used in my practice, so I cannot tell what symptoms you took for Chinim Salve, doctor. That's why. Dr. Nafi, welcome. It's important to understand what type of case and which case you are asking me, and so tell me some good results. Tell me some more symptoms in order to give me the results, the remedies. Yes, there was a question on WhatsApp, but I still feel please ask me question on Insta and YouTube so that everybody knows what is the question and what we are answering. Okay? Is single dose enough? I have answered that. Chinim Salve, give me some more symptoms too. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and answer. I had a very interesting case, doctor, who asked me about vertigo. एक पेशेंट का बहुत ही that was a very interesting symptom, and the patient told me, whenever I have vertigo, I just wash my face with cold water, or I put ice on my head, and I feel much better. And I thought that maybe the patient is trying to be over smart, or patient is trying to be hyper. I did not take notice of that. But I prescribed one remedy, two remedies, three. It did not work. Then I thought, okay, I will go and read Mater Medica and see which is the remedy. So vertigo better by cold application. There is a remedy called Natramur. I prescribed the patient Natramur, and that cured the case. This is basically the importance of understanding the gestures of the patient. What is the patient trying to convey? Sometimes because of our knowledge, or you say our ego or our experience, we feel the patient is trying to act over smart, or trying to tell us exaggerated symptoms, and that we don't take care of. But in this case, I was so surprised, that the cold application ameliorates, and Natramur cured the case. I gave Natramur 1 one dose, and I think repeated after 1 week, and the patient was cured with that dose of Natramur. Yeah, Fatima Ibani. Hello, welcome. I hope you got this. So I think it is already half an hour up. Again, we'll have a Zoom session, a paid session on Thursday, the second part, and we'll be discussing again an interesting case with differential Mater Medica. So whoever is there, be prepared for a differential Mater Medica. That a lot of people have told me, So we'll take Siddharth Mishra ji. नमस्कार और गुड आफ्टरनून. हमने जस्ट ख़त्म किया है, एंड आई होप आप पहले थोड़े आए और ज्वाइन करें. आप अच्छा लगता है, आपने सवाल पूछा. तो डॉक्टर उपल सेज पल्सिटल वॉल्यूम 3 डोज नेक्स्ट डे यूज गॉसिपियम मदर टिंचर वाइबरम फॉर अबॉर्शन स्टार्टेड बट डाउट्स अबाउट कंप्लीट अबॉर्शन. नो, यू जस्ट गो एंड just tell the patient to a sonography, and we can know that whether there is complete that or not. But I am surprised that it worked. I have never used that, but I have also heard from my sirs and professors, and if it worked, it is fantastic. Okay, so everybody, thank you for joining, and I hope you enjoyed as much as I enjoy sharing my knowledge with you. Thank you so much.